Hi everyone, it's Kathy Zilski. Happy to be here on the Scrapbook and Cards Today YouTube channel with another installment of Clean and Simple with me, Kathy Z. Today's project is a fun slice of life style of scrapbook page that you could do for yourself or for anyone in your family. I think the typography is really fun and they are all coming from die cuts. So let's take a look at the products that I'll be using today. Now I went ahead and created my list for my scrapbook page. Now this is a page about me, slice of life for right now. You could do this for anyone. I would have done it for my kids, but they're adults now, and I don't think they love mama making pages and sharing them on the internet. Thank you. But it's all okay if you're doing it about yourself, right? That's the story I'm going with. I've got some gorgeous paper here today from Vicki Boutin. And I love all of the patterns in here. I feel like they're all so gorgeous and so unique, but I landed upon the hearts. Just think that is a really gorgeous paper, and I love the size of the hearts and the whole watercolor feel. And I'm going to be using this die cut. This is called Big Ampersand. I designed this die cut, and it cuts out an ampersand and it cuts out an ampersand shadow layer, and I thought it would look cute to cut it out of some of this heart pattern paper. So that's the ampersand. And then for my title, I'm going to use these dies, another set that I designed. And I absolutely love dies because you get a lot of use out of them over time. And I've got my photo. So first things first, we're going to cut out the first ampersand out of this heart pattern paper. And I just think that's really pretty. So I've got a really pretty pattern. And then I'll take a coordinating cardstock. This is Sweet Mango, actually, from Gina K Designs, and I'll cut out the shadow layer so they nestle together beautifully like this. Next, I'll cut out my title. Now, here's the thing about letter dies. You pay more, I think, when you're first getting a set, right? They're going to cost more than stickers, but you can use them forever, and you can cut out any color that you want, and I'm really just a big fan of letter dies, just for the flexibility of choosing your color and material, and however you want to use them, you can make cute titles. I thought it would be fun to have the second part of the title in this sort of blue tone color to pick up on the blue of the hearts. So went ahead and cut out the second word, the that, if you will, out of the blue cardstock. Now it's time to trim my photo. I always print my photos with crop marks just to kind of give me a guide of where to cut, but honestly, I just wanted to cut this down on my paper trimmer, get it ready for the page, and I'll adjust it a little bit before I actually glue it down to the page, but that looks pretty good to start. And I'm also going to cut off a 1/4 inch off each side of the pre-printed journaling because I like to be able to mount my white background onto another piece of cardstock to give it a nice little framing edge of darker cardstock color coming through. I'm going to go ahead and add my dot runner here. This is also Gina K Designs and Thermal Web. And I picked just some craft cardstock. I always go to craft. When in doubt, go to craft, because I know that it's neutral and it's probably going to work, and I thought it looked nice with also the colors that I'm using for both the ampersand and the title. I'm dotting on a little liquid adhesive to the back of the patterned ampersand, and then I will glue that down onto the shadow layer. I like liquid adhesive because it gives you just a little bit of wiggle room. So you can wiggle whatever it is you're doing into place, and it's not quite as permanent as fast as maybe another type of adhesive, and I find that to be really useful. But there you go, all nestled on the shadow layer. I'm using some thin foam squares from Scrapbook adhesives to pop up my ampersand. I don't like bulky pages, and this depth, if you will, of foam square is perfect for just a little dimension, but not something that's going to get really bulky. So I'm laying this out, and I know that I want this to kind of tuck under just a little bit with the ampersand. So I am going to bring in my T-square here, and I do this quite often. I tape it into place because I don't want it to shift. I want it to be where it's at, and this is a really easy way to quickly figure out what is the straight line and how can I get either my die cut letters, or this works great with stickers as well, quickly lined up. Again, using the liquid adhesive because of the little bit of wiggle room that you have. If you don't get it down perfect the first time, you can wiggle it. And that's the thing with me and stickers. I'm not very good with stickers. In fact, when I use stickers, a lot of times I put powder on the back with the powder bag that I have because I know I'm never going to stick them in the right place to start. So, dotting on the little bit of glue for the eye dot, which is called a tittle. Thank you. And I'll just continue gluing down the rest of the letters, using that ruler and pressing the letters right onto that line. And just like that, straight and wonderful. Love it. Now I'll take all the backers off of the thin foam squares, and I like this little pen blade for that. It's not a very sharp blade, but for this particular thing, taking backers off, it's fantastic. Bring the ruler back in just to make sure the ampersand is straight. I think when you have minimal designs like this, the straighter you can get things down, the better, because there's not a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? So I do rely on straight lines on my layouts to create this sort of underlying feel that things are where they are supposed to be. And there's that. I've got this other piece of pattern paper that I thought looked good with all of it, and I'm going to map my photo onto that paper, but I thought it'd be cute to do a little tab. I have this tab set as well, and it was designed with scrapbooking in mind. So I had a little scrap of the blue left over, and I had to tape this into place because I was trying to use the magnet and the die kept jumping onto the magnet. I just wanted to make sure that I had perfect clearance for using the die and stamping it. I'm going to take my Embossing Magic powder bag just to remove any static or oil because I really just want my sticky embossing ink, and this is also from Gina K Designs. Just want the ink to go down, make a great impression, and I just want my powder to stick there. If you ever have a problem with your embossing powder sticking everywhere to your cardstock, get an Embossing Magic bag. It makes a huge difference. I'm going to sprinkle on this white powder, let it sit there for a second, flick off the excess, and there you go. I'll get my powder right back into the container. I don't do anything fancy. I just funnel it back in from my folded piece of paper. I'll get my heat tool nice and hot. I usually let it run for about 30 seconds before I bring it to the paper to melt the powder. The clothespin helps your fingers not get burned too, by the way. Great tip. I learned that from my friend Gina K Designs. I'll tape the die into place and run that through my die cut machine. And here's what it looks like. Went ahead and glued all of those things down, popped that tab right next to the photo, which I think is kind of cute. But then I thought, you know what, I think it's missing one thing. A little bit more color is needed to complete the feel and the balance. So I went ahead and die cut a couple hearts in the same cardstock, the blue and the orange, and popping that little guy right up on top. And that was the missing piece. So now you can see I've got the little bit of orange cardstock repeated. The blue appears in a visual triangle, if you will, in 3 locations, and that ties together the whole layout. So I hope this gives you some ideas for how you could do a quick slice of life. Use a big ampersand and some dies or letter stickers and type up that list and save that snapshot of life right now. Thanks so much for watching today, and we would love to have you become a subscriber to the SCT YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit that gray bell below the video so you don't miss the next time we post.